I ask myself over and over again why I'm in this phase where I have more and more analysis with Nigeria predominantly as a case study, where a few years ago it wasn't. I could come up with many reasons why, but this is the last analysis about Nigeria with regards to my global affairs analysis as a case study. I have, perhaps it was when you really need to understand why a nation with such attention and focus, and yet it's not able to be that nation that is a leader. I had conversations and arguments over years, about 10 years now, with in particular one particular professional, Ayo Ali. He didn't understand why I didn't understand or agree, not understand, but I didn't agree that military administration and leadership was the reason why the country is the way it is. I did not agree, but it hasn't always been military leadership. The argument is Nigeria did not fail onto military leadership. There are many arguments that say otherwise. The military, the points that is the military administrators and leaders themselves. Well, from my findings using global affairs analysis and also cultural anthropology and also policy reviews, policy implementation reviews, it's those things that were never really captured or we didn't give attention to when we read about them or heard about them in news. It's the families of the military leaders. Those were the reasons why the country failed. Nigeria likes to liken itself to America, but then America has the history of civilian leadership beyond anything else in Nigeria. And in as much as the military has something similar with leadership in America, United States of America, this is if you cannot be the head of your family, you cannot lead a nation. It's the same for military leadership in Nigeria. It's the same for America, but the military was negligent or didn't know how to handle that once they took over the role that they were not trained for, which is leadership, where their job is actually security, and the security is only where it's anarchy or chaos, or that's what their job is. So it's the children, and these children came in and mixed with the civilian children, whose parents, who were also leaders, were of the civil service, and the foundation with which civil service was designed in Nigeria is the upper class elites that were designed to be the leaders. So I would liken it to a typical situation with the home. You have a security guard, and then you have the head of the household, who's the CEO of an organization that is employing about 100 million people, for example. And the security guard has children. The security guard's child decides that he wants to marry the daughter of the CEO. The security guard himself decides that he knows better than the CEO himself, who designed his terms of reference, and he got engaged, or he became an institute of security guards, so therefore the armed forces. Now, in a country where there's different social stratas, the clear line has to be drawn. And many would fight this argument and say, oh, that's being snobbish, that's not equality. You have a right to that reasoning as well, and it does make sense. However, you cannot fight a natural environment the way it is designed. You cannot go back and want to start creating an environment from 5,000, 6,000, 10,000, 100,000 years ago. The universe is quite unbelievably big. You can, however, go off and create that equal environment where your gate man, your security guard, or your home guard can be equal with the CEOs of organizations. Your children, their children. The argument will also be that the security guards also is able to send his kids to, which is what people aim for, Ivy League schools. Yes, but the truth of the matter is this: the one-on-one discussions you have with your lecturer, we have the same curriculum. The one-on-one discussions, wisdom, advice that you get from your lecturer will never be the same as the one I would get. Now, this is not being snobbish, it's just this is the reality. And there are much more bigger problems for you, Nigeria. So you cannot isolate this problem. This is a major problem. You didn't look out for those military homes, and they're in big chaos in Nigeria. It's the same children that are coming and are becoming the civil servants and all of that, and taking the same stand and saying they're elites, and not understand that you've got to be very well educated. Your foundation matters, even if you go off to some Ivy League school for your masters. You cannot ignore these things. So you look at those situations, it is quite painful, but it's the reality. You either create environments or societies where everyone is equal in that regard. For those who are in number and want to go with you, they go with you. Or you don't make that such a big problem and just work with and solve bigger problems. For example, Africa is not Nigeria. South Africa is not Africa. Nigeria is not Africa. These are the two nations that have gotten it wrong. You want to focus on making Africa a continent, a true continent, so that it can inter and interplay with other continents across the globe. And then we can have at least one true foundation that says this is sustainability. And everyone can just happily go on with what sustainability is and what needs to be done and what their dreams are. Oh, I'm not interested in sustainability. I just want to come to life, marry and die. Whatever it is, at least everyone has a direction. Have a great evening. My name is Ida Adelaide Mohammed.